The year is 2020. The Indian gaming and esports is being ruled by one game that has overshadowed every other game for a while. A new game is set to release soon, only a few care about this game. PC esports is barely alive in India, but things are about to change. On September 2nd, a news arrives. The game that has ruled the Indian esports is banned in the country. A moment of shock for every Indian PUBG mobile player. This ban left a void in the Indian esports and the general multiplayer gaming community. A void that has been there for a long time, but now it was bigger than ever. And somewhere in this void was a game that was released just a few months prior to the ban, lying dormant, waiting for the perfect moment, just like a superhero who shows up in style at the right place and just at the right time. Here, that hero was Valorant. That showed up in style at the time India needed it the most. Something to divert their mind from the ongoing pandemic lockdown, something to grind and rank up and enter esports again. Valorant was released in India at a time that even Riot Games could not have foreseen. It was like all the stars aligned for Valorant, just perfect. The Indian gamers needed to taste something new that they can learn and get better at. While there was a nationwide lockdown and the only option was to stay in the house. There were those other games in the market like PUBG PC, CSGO and more, but they had their own problems. One of them being that these games have been out for a while and that made the skill level needed to enter the games pretty high. Not suitable for a gamer who is new to such games. But this was not the case with Valorant. A brand new game, the only pros in the game are former CSGO players. There is a lot to learn, characters have abilities that resolve the need to have a perfect aim. Everyone is locked inside their homes, time is not scarce. PC games creators are playing this game. Some former PUBG creators became entertainers while other PUBG creators started grinding in this very game. Valorant took Indian gaming scene with a storm, and then Riot Games announced Valorant's first international esports tournament. The door to esports was now open. This is Ita Gamer. I make short gaming documentaries and today we are going to uncover how Valorant changed Indian esports and gaming forever. In the same year, Indian Valorant teams emerged. Teams like Velocity Gaming, Global Esports and more introduced their Valorant rosters. These tournaments began, audience grew as Valorant kept getting popular day by day, and in upcoming few years, one of these teams was about to set foot on international stage and represent India. The clash of these teams began, audience loved it. Velocity Gaming, also renamed as Team Mahi for a while, was doing great. Global Esports didn't stay behind, this was something fresh. Best Indian teams competing against each other to reach that international level. Global Esports and Velocity Gaming were unstoppable. These adrenaline-filled matches between these teams were a treat to watch. Each player of these teams became a fan favorite. There was a friendly rivalry between these teams. Doesn't matter which team wins the match, it's a win for Indian PC esports, which was barely alive, and these matches were no less than a revival potion for Indian esports. In August 2021, it was time for a final battle between these teams. The winner gets to compete against international teams in Valorant Champions Tour. And by this time, there have been quite a few changes in the roster of both the teams. The final battle was a best of 5 maps. Both teams performed extraordinarily well. It can be considered as the best face-off these teams ever had. But only one could win, and VLT was looking great with a 9-3 half at the series point. But you never know, it's Valorant esports after all. In the second half, GE had a marvelous comeback. GE got to the map and series point. VLT's economy was not the best. With 30 seconds remaining, MW1 of VLT pushes on B, gets the first pick, and then
MW1 एक pick निकालेंगे instantly, just no going up forward, लेकिन इसके साथ skills going big, takes two, one player remaining from Velocity. Is it enough? Hunter's Fury भी है वहां पर. लॉकडाउन लग चुका है, लॉकडाउन जरूर डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगा, बट प्लेयर की डिस्ट्रक्शन एक अलग बात हो जाती है. इसके रॉसी ends it. Global Esports is moving forward. GE fighting APAC, last chance qualifiers Asia Pacific में Global Esports का दबदबा. Look at this lad. कल ये जितना शांत था, आज उतना ही एसेंट पे कहर बन के बरसा है. इसके freaking रॉसी. Global Esports, they did it.
each player of both the teams gave their best, but one player was unstoppable, and that was the duelist of global esports, SK Rossi. At this point, he was Valorant India's one of the best duelists, the unbeatable and fan favorite. VLT lost, but they served as a crucial part of Valorant India's esports scene at the time. 2 months later, Global Esports faced their first opponent at VCT 2021 Asia Pacific Last Chance Qualifier. The opponent team was Demon Gaming, and GE didn't disappoint. With a 9-3 half on the third map, GE won the map by 13-5 and put an end to the match by winning 2-1 in a best of 3 match.
20 seconds left on the clock. That isn't much time to work with. Texture, they found out where he is. He's got blades, but can that be enough for him? Going to the back of the side, getting that dash on. It's a 1v3. He's shut down.
Yet again, SK Rossi was the star of the show. He was unbeatable and finished the match with an average combat score of 296. The next match in the series was against PaperX. GE was confident, so were the fans and supporters. But PaperX outperformed Global Esports, and it was a heartbreaking defeat. GE lost the first map 13-3. The second map was even more one-sided. GE lost 13-0 to PRX. This was like the beginning of a downfall of Global Esports in VCT. GE had to face F4Q in lower bracket after losing to PRX. This was the last chance, but GE lost again. The team tried its best but could not deliver. Despite the loss, it was still an achievement to reach such a level and fight against some of the best teams. This could not have been possible at such a scale if Valorant didn't show at the time. It revived Indian esports, and not just esports but the content creators community as well. Before Valorant, the content creation space was dominated by just one game. PC games were buried under it. Only the veteran PC gamers were the reason it was not completely dead. This was all due to the enormous number of audience that just wanted to watch that particular game. But Valorant changed that. After the ban, there was no other option except some overwhelmingly downgraded versions of PUBG and Battle Royale mobile game. One such game was getting extremely popular, but those who wanted to play, learn and watch some quality multiplayer games tuned into Valorant creators. A lot of new creators emerged in Valorant creator space. The audience kept growing and Valorant became one of the most played PC multiplayer FPS title in India. Soon after the release of Valorant, India got the Mumbai servers, which resulted in a lower ping. But more than that, Mumbai server has always been a content haven, full of toxic, entertaining, senseless Mumbai server players.
इको राउंड हार रहे हो, do you even know?
आराम से बोल रहा हूँ भाई, क्या मरे क्यों जा रहा है?
अबे तो उल्टा सीधा से क्या?
अबे भाई नो बड़े ऐसे की तैसे कर दूँ तेरे मैच की, हार जाएगा फालतू का फोकट का।
तो
अबे अच्छे
नहीं हारेगा, तू नहीं हारेगा।
अबे मेरे को नहीं पता, मेरा थ्रो अकाउंट है, नो मेरा थ्रो अकाउंट है।
अबे तू कुछ नहीं कर सकता पहले।
अरे भाई ऐसी के तैसी तेरे मैच के तू खेल, अब तू जीत के दिखा दे।
तू नो लाइफर है, अपनी लाइफ तो देख पहले।
मजा आएगा तो बड़ा मजा आएगा।
और मुंबई चाहिए तुम लोग को। 6-4 स्कोर चल रहा है, जीत रहे हो, चिल करो भाई।
यहाँ पे एग्रेशन दिखा के क्या कर लेगा? इंटरनेट पे एग्रेशन दिखा के क्या कर लेगा बता?
Now you guys know why I play Singapore server.
Valorant and other shooter games aren't the only games in esports. There is an unusual simulation game that is present in esports. Click the video on screen to know more about this unique and satisfying world of farming simulator esports that no one really knows about.